What's up, Lotus Breach fans? Bryant Cook here today, and we are playing this deck once again, my go-to modern deck. Until the last month or so, I've been playing a ton of Neoform, and honestly, you might not have noticed, but my shirt has dinosaurs on it. I feel like it's a mistake not wearing their shirt while recording Neoform, but we're going to do it today, recording Lotus Breach. Please forgive me. I know that the comment section is going to be very, very upset, but you know, it is what it is. So the last time that I recorded this deck, I was running Offer You Can't Refuse, the brand new card from Streets of New Capenna. You can check that video out in the card above. I went 5-0 in that video. I didn't really actually get to use Offer You Can't Refuse that much, but the big thing was that we weren't playing Consider, a card that came out in Midnight Hunt that I was all about. And then it's always just been fine. It's not a bad card, it's just fine. And we were looking to possibly upgrade it. So today I'm going to test out another thing that I've actually already played previously, which is main deck copies of Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alex McKinley of theepicstorm.com got me to test this, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and it was always decent, but the problem at the time was deck slots. Like, what were you giving up? And at the time we were cutting main deck Inquisitions and just relying on Pact and Negation, if I remember correctly. So now that we're not playing Consider, we have room for Channeler. Or, well, we had room for 3 channelers. I actually ended up cutting the 4th copy of Profane Tutor to make room for this. So we'll see how that goes today. I'm not so sure about that decision. The other card you could cut is Otherworldly Gaze number 4, but this card is just so good in this deck. I don't think that's the correct choice, but we'll see how it goes today. So I'm playing 4 main deck copies of Channeler, which is pretty interesting because it helps our primary plan with Underworld Breach, and you can... It makes Otherworldly Gaze go infinite. So you don't need Tome Scour if you have the Otherworldly Gaze, which might mean that maybe we end up getting rid of Tome Scour altogether in the future and we just run Channeler and Otherworldly Gaze, which might be something worth looking at. I'm not sure if it's the correct choice, but it's certainly pretty interesting that this card, when you have enough of them, means that you don't need Tome Scour or anything else. So I think that it's a great plan B that helps with our plan A, and that's what makes it interesting in Lotus Breach. Other changes. 4th copy of Pact and Negation is back in the sideboard. If you look at the modern metagame according to MTG Goldfish, it is bluer than ever. Really, it's tons of blue decks. So we're going to want more free interaction in the sideboard. And I ended up cutting the 2nd copy of Void Snare. The last time that I played, I felt like I actually had too many bounce spells with having Fatal Push and Needle as well. So I'm down to just 2 bounce spells because really what we want this If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Alright, time for the first match. We are on the play with Dragon's Rage Channeler Lotus Breach. So here we have Channeler. The rest of this hand is not very good, so I don't think we're going to keep this, unfortunately. And is this any better? Triple Twiddle Scour. Yikes. I think I'm going to go to 5. Not the way I wanted to start this. And this is the best hand we've seen, so we're definitely going to keep this. Bottom the Void Snare, and if I draw another Twiddle, we just have lethal. So I think we keep this. Okay. Play the Watery Grave, tapped and pass. We're really looking to draw a Twiddle and then for our opponent to not be on a blue deck. Arid Mesa, okay, I like that. Mountain, so likely burn. Suspends Riftbolt, definitely burn. Draw. Not Twiddle. Not Twiddle at all. Alright, so we're going to grab the island and suspend Profane Tutor. Pass the turn. Riftbolt will come off suspend and we'll take 3, going to 16 life. Inspiring Vantage into Eidolon of the Great Revel. Classic. Alright, this loses a suspend counter. We'll draw. I don't love the situation that we're in. So I'm at 14. I'm going to target myself here. Packed. I don't want that. Opponent's being really aggressive in the comment section. We'll play Lotus Field. Pass the turn. Profane Tutor's not ideal here. Swift Spear. Yeah, that's a Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we're currently taking 4 off this attack. I don't have any draws that keep me alive here. Alright, so they got game number 1. Not the end of the world. Okay, so definitely interested in Fatal Push in this matchup. I've also started bringing in Leyline, and it's been great, so I'm really interested in that. And then we can bring in Ave and take out the Ad Nauseam. There's also some merit to Echoing Truth. I don't know if we have that many slots. I think that this is a matchup we're not really interested in Dragon's Rage Channeler, so we can take out those. Take out this Pact Negation. I think I'm going to try to get by without the Echoing Truth. I think it's just a little too clunky. And then I'm going to shave 2 copies of Inquisition. I think that's good enough for me. Let's just submit this. On the play for game number 2. So we have Leyline. I think I'm going to try it. Okay. Turn and pass the turn. Mountain into Goblin Guide. So with the Goblin Guide trigger on the stack, we're going to cast Otherworldly Gaze and see if we can find a Lotus Field. Grab that island. Otherworldly Gaze, and we find the Lotus Field! Alright. Just like we drew it up. Put this back on top. Goblin Guide trigger gives us a free Lotus Field. Thank you. Another land. Didn't need that. So we're going to fetch the basic swamp here. Play the Wishclaw Talisman. Pass the turn. Opponent with 7 cards in hand. I'm expecting an Eidolon here. And it is. Goblin Guy will get in again. We'll go to 14. We already have the answer to Eidolon. Another land off the top rope, okay. So I could take a fixed draw with this, or I can... And then we'll keep the Twiddle. Draw. Play Lotus Field. Sacrifice the 2 basics. Pass the turn. We're in a weird spot here because I don't really have a whole lot going on in my hand. Okay, so they currently have 6 damage, which will put me to 6 life. I can cast the Void Snare on the Eidolon, and that will put me to 4. Our top card is Tome Scour. That actually gives us just Deterministic, I believe. Okay, so they have 1 card in hand. We'll tap this for blue. Bounce this Eidolon. And then, woo, cancel. Twiddle. Yes. I tap this for red. We'll go get Underworld Breach. Play the Breach. Twiddle the Lotus Field. Alright. So I guess one thing that we're already seeing about this list is that when you don't want Dragon's Rage Channeler in the matchup, having the Tome Scour means that you don't have to keep it in. Okay, so our opponent's dead. Maybe I should aggro GG them in the what is it called, the chat, but I won't do that. I'm a better person. Okay. So we have Storm of 7, Twiddle. Yep. Twiddle again. Yes. Alright, and now we can Scour. There's the Ave. We don't need that, though. I guess I can keep the Ave there. It's fine. And there's the Grapeshot. So now I just have to Grapeshot them twice. Target them. Click that done button. And we're going to be headed off to game number 3 in just a moment. Okay. Click, click, boom. Game 3, here we come. Do I think we should change anything here? Probably not. I guess maybe on the draw I could bring in Inquisition. Does beat multiple Eidolons, which is nice. I don't love leaving 1 Inquisition in our deck. That like sort of feels wrong, but I'm not sure that any of these cards are better. Alright, I'm just going to submit this. Maybe we'll get lucky and open hand the 1 Inquisition and then never draw any more the rest of the game. Just like we drew it up. So no Leyline, but the rest of this hand is pretty solid. All it needs is an Underworld Breach, and we have a turn 3 that can answer Eidolon into the win. I think I'm going to try this one out. Keep. Arid Mesa into Mountain. Lightning Bolt, you got it. Draw. That's probably a little bit slow. I mean, these are fine in the matchup if you have a Leyline. I think when you don't have a Leyline, this card ends up being a little bit lackluster. Land number 2. I imagine that for the 3rd game in a row, they will slam Eidolon here. And they do. Okay, we're going to cast this Otherworldly Gaze. What do we find? 3 cards we don't want, so we're going to just mill those. Sure, you got it. Draw. What to do here? I wonder if I should just bounce the Eidolon now? Just like make them reuse all their mana on this, because eventually when I find the Breach, I don't know if that's right. Alright, I'm gonna play this tapped, and I think I'm just gonna bounce this, make them spend their mana again. It'll be fine. Okay, so they have a Mire getting a third mountain, so they might be mono red burn. Suspends Riftbolt into Eidolon, sure. Draw. Wishclaw. That doesn't win the game here. I would go to 12. It does give me a guaranteed breach, but I don't think that's going to be good enough. Alright, I might just be dead depending. I mean, they have a Riftbolt and Suspend. I think I was just a turn too slow this game. Okay. I'm going to 9. They have an attack, so I'll go to 7. So with the card that they get to draw for turn, they have to deal 7 damage with 4 cards. Pretty likely that I'm going to start this league off 0-1. That's a Skewer the Critics. Land. I'm at 4, which is the magic number for Boros Charm. And they're passing. That's interesting. I can't breach into Void Snare. That's not on the table here. Ooh. Alright, so I have no outs here. I would need 1 more life in order to breach into the Void Snare, but even so, the colors don't work. So I could Wishclaw for like a Fatal Push, but that doesn't work either because the rest of my hand doesn't do anything. So our opponent got us. Tip of the cap to them, we are 0-1. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Time for match 2 on the play. This hand's fairly reasonable. Let's try this out and we can see how Dragon's Rage Channeler goes. I'm going to take some mulligan. Alright, turn 1 Misty Rainforest. We'll activate this for a Steam Vents going to 16. And Channeler. So the question becomes, do you suspend the Profane Tutor on the second turn so that way you can get it going, or do you cast this just looking to surveil more? I think we probably just use the Profane Tutor. Okay, let's search out the swamp. Let's move to combat first, just in case they're sitting on a removal spell. And they take 1, and now we can just suspend this past the turn. Fetching with the Misty, picking up a Breeding Pool. Living End, my nightmare. Yep. I never beat this deck, ever. In fact, I've been playing so much Neoform, and I lose to, like, I'm gonna sound like I'm complaining here, and I'm sorry, but pitch spells, and it's just like kind of bullshit, if I'm being completely honest. I hate this deck. I can't stand it. It shouldn't be allowed. Alright, enough of me raging. Otherworldly Gaze. I probably should have cast this one in my upkeep, but I was too busy complaining. So we ended up drawing another, which was fine, but I should have cast this in my upkeep. Interesting. You're going to Force of Negation and Otherworldly Gaze. You got it. Channeler trigger. We will surveil that to the graveyard. And Otherworldly Gaze. That too can go to the graveyard. And Gaze. Okay, so we're definitely going to put this there. The question is, do I want Breach? I think we keep both of these, but I'm going to put Inquisition on top. Get in there. Alright, pass that turn. Waker of Waves. Really hoping they don't have it. So they have 3 cards left. They would need land Cascade spell here. They have the land. 2 cards left. Oh, I forgot that I'm not going to get to draw the cards I put on top. I should have surveilled those to the graveyard then. Because that way this would have been a 3/3. That's a mistake on my part. Damn. Alright, so we'll cast this. I can go to the graveyard. Profane Tutor. What to get? I think I just get Lotus Field here, because if they Living End and grief me, at least I have this. And here it comes. I don't have a draw that gets me out of this situation, because our opponent's also going to be swinging for lethal. So, yikes. I could flash this back right now and hope to hit channelers as blockers. Alright, let's do that. Surveil. That can go to the graveyard. Otherworldly Gaze. All garbage. Alright. You can look at my Lotus Field, and I'm dead on board. I just want to see what my draw would have been. Alright, so yikes. Not a great start to this league, that's for sure. We don't really have a whole lot for this matchup. I think you definitely want Pact of Negation to stop their Force of Negations, and then you want Leyline of Sanctity for both Grief and Endurance. So we want those. You have to board out the Ad Nauseam, and I think you want Purity of the Abyss. This isn't reliable against the Living End deck, it just doesn't work. So we're 67. Channeler, unfortunately, has to be sided out again. And now we're at 63. It's tough. There's no real cards I want to take out at this point. I mean, in theory, I could take out the Void Snare, because, I've seen some list of Living End that have Leyline of the Void, but most don't. So I could try boarding that out, because otherwise this is a pretty much dead card. Also, we can't beat a Leyline of Sanctity if they side that in. So I could board out Profane Tutor. That's another option. Just because it's really slow. But doing that makes Purity of the Abyss worse. I think I'm going to shave 1 Tutor and then 1 of each Twiddle. Let's try this out. Game 2. Sure, this actually seems pretty reasonable. Leyline. Steam Vents, 18 life. We'll bobble ourselves, and if we don't want the card, we can use Otherworldly Gaze to get rid of it. Target us. Another breach. So it's definitely, I guess I should cast this in their upkeep to play around Force of Negation. Alright, so this trigger is still on the stack. Let's cast this Otherworldly Gaze. And we don't need any of these at this moment. So as nice as Pact of Negation is, I need land number 2 immediately. And I don't think I can afford to keep that. Alright, random draw off the bobble. And I hit a Pact anyway, so it all ended up working out. But I do need to find land 2 here. They cycle Riverwinder. Alright, upkeep. Let's try this again, see if we can find land 2. Alright, we're definitely bidding the Lotus Field. And this Otherworldly Gaze. We'll keep the second land. Draw. Play Watery Grave, pass the turn. If I draw a Twiddle for turn, which is, we only have 6 of them in the deck at this point because we boarded 2 out. We could theoretically look at trying to win the game. 2 mana. The Seiju. That was not very nice. Let's grab Watery Grave, I guess. Now I'm going to get griefed. Didn't see that coming. Caught me completely off guard. There it goes. So in my upkeep, I'm going to flashback Otherworldly Gaze. And I think I'm probably looking for like an Inquisition here. Obviously another Breach too, but Inquisition so that way we can stop their living end. Okay. So that gave us a lot of what we were looking for. Bin that, and I think we keep these two. Wishclaw on top, and then Inquisition. Draw. Inquisition. They have 4 cards. Let's take the Shardless. And we'll leave them with Force of Negation Riverwinder. Okay, so not overly concerned with the Force of Negation at the moment, but we do have to find another Underworld Breach. Street Wraith was the draw. They play the Flooded Strand. Did they find the Cascade spell? Looks like it. It's pretty frustrating. This deck is so ridiculous. And we know that they have Force blue card in hand. So 5, 10, 15 damage on board. We'll play Wishclaw. See if this resolves. They force it, and now we have Otherworldly Gaze. If we can hit a Breach here, we might have a chance next turn, because they don't have lethal. Unfortunately, Wishclaw Talisman is not good enough because I don't have enough mana. So I just have to mill all of these. Okay, so we're on a 2-outer here. Alright, so I'm going to 3. And I can't flashback the last copy of Otherworldly Gaze in my upkeep because I wouldn't have enough mana to win. So we just have to take a natural draw here and hope that it's Underworld Breach. Alright, let's see it. Not Underworld Breach. So we are starting this league off 0-2. It's been a rough start. Let's see if we can turn it around. Playing your favorite combo deck in Paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grapeshot, everyone's favorite storm win condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, Ave Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in Paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. All right, let's see if we can get this one. Match number 3 on the draw. Keep. So far, the Dragon's Rage Channeler hasn't been super useful, but you never know. And turn 1 Ragavan is not ideal for us. Okay, this was a good draw. Let's pick up the basic and Inquisition. We don't care about any of those, so let's just take the Channeler. Pass that turn. With the way our hand is currently constructed, we don't really need this Profane Tutor outside of the fact that it gets Tome Scour. They had a Misty Rainforest, that's fine. Draw. Okay. Suspend the tutor. Pass the turn. Ragavan will get in again. We'll fall to 15. What's the reveal? My own Dragon's Rage Channeler. Yikes. Okay. Expressive Iteration. This is not how I imagined dying this game. To my own creature. Alright, they're bobbling me. Bobble trigger. Profane trigger. So it does not come off suspend this turn. It comes off next turn. Draw. This was good. I think we want to Inquisition them now. Let's take the counter spell. And then we can use pack next turn. Or I'm sorry, we can use the tutor to get packed. So that way we can protect our breach. We're definitely milling Wishclaw because Wishclaw will be how we end up finding Tome Scour. So I think we just bin all of these. Especially when the tutor's coming off suspend anyway and I won't get to draw those. Play the Lotus Field and just pass the turn. Alright. So we'll take a hit for 5 going to 10. They hit a Twiddle. I guess maybe I should have left a card on top for Ragavan. I don't know how that plays out to the like number of cards I need for Breach or not, but it would have been really bad if they hit the Grapeshot or a discard spell. So maybe I should have left something on top. And now we have the tutor. Cast this, go get our Pact of Negation. Draw. Alright, let's attempt to Twiddle. If they counter this, I think we just let it go. Tap this for red. We know that they have a bunch of removal in hand, so I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to play the Channeler. I feel like that might just be wrong. Breach. Here's the Archmage's Charm. And we will Pact. Underworld Breach. That resolves, so like to see that. Okay, yes, I'd like to pay 2. And now we can play the Channeler, and they only have 1 mana up. So I believe the Otherworldly Gaze just does it here, and we don't even actually need to find anything else. If they try to kill the Channeler, we have Pact open. Surveil, yes. And now we counterspell that. So this is kind of cool. Surveil. Alright, so Unholy Heat will be countered. Technically, these are both of my channelers. Graveyard. Twiddle. Yes. We already have the Grapeshot. I can actually just Surveil twice, or Grapeshot twice here. It's less cool, but technically we already have it. But otherwise, we could have just Twiddled and Otherworldly Gazed the entire graveyard away. Alright, just target them a few times. That can go to the bin. And Grapeshot. Grapeshot you again. So we've taken game number 1 over Izzet Murktide. Or Izzet Tempo, whatever you'd like to call this deck. Okay, so the question is, like, do we want to even leave in Channeler? This slot traditionally is the card that gets boarded out all the time. So it's kind of tough because everything else in the deck is so crucial. We definitely want the Pact of Negations, and I think we want the Echoing Truth for an answer to the Blood Moon effects. And then Ave, it's pretty good against counter spells. It also beats Graveyard Hate. That brings us up to 64. I could just board out the channelers here and call it a day. Alternatively, I could try to leave them in, but they have lightning bolts and, you know, unholy heats and everything else. One of the things about combo decks is you gain card advantage by not allowing those cards to be live against you. So I don't know. I'm not saying the channeler is bad. I'm just not convinced so far that it's what we want. I'm sure somebody's watching this going, yeah, but Bryant, you boarded out every match. I think that that's a very fair argument, and like I completely would get that point. It's just, I think that's what I'm supposed to do. It's not supposed to be in my deck, at least in post-board games. Okay, another monkey. Draw. That was a good one. Let's just cast this right now. And we'll bin these, leaving the steam vents on top. Old Rag's getting in there, so we'll go to 18 and they can have a lovely steam vents. Dragon's Rage Channeler. They have yet to play a land. Consider. Unlicensed Hearse. That is a card that's decent against me. They milled away a counterspell and missed the second land. Okay, we're going to suspend the Profane Tutor past the turn. Next turn I can play Witchclaw Talisman Lotus Field. Then we'll untap and the Profane Tutor will come off suspend and we can potentially try to win the game. That's a pain in the buns. Yep. We do have the Ave in our deck to win with. Just want to throw that out there. Looted Delta. Exile Bobble. Okay. Draw. Void Snare. That's an interesting one. That changes, like, because theoretically we could try to bounce the relic. We'll play Field. I don't love this because I could be setting myself up to get blown out here. And by that I mean I have this Void Snare, which answers Blood Moon, but I only have 2 basics in this deck, and now they're both in my graveyard. 2 mana for an expressive iteration. Scalding Tarn is the card revealed. And they go to 14. They're now delirious and I'll fall to 10 life. They hit the Scour. Oh, that's actually really bad for me. I mean, that's not like game over. We still have... Okay, well, this is game over. I have a Grapeshot that can answer it, but we just don't have the time. Alright, so I can go get the Grapeshot, and it will kill Magus, but I can't beat the Relic on the comeback. Yeah, I'm just going to pick it up. Game 3. It would have been different if I didn't draw so many lands. I was really choked up there just because of the amount of lands that I had in hand. Not ideal. But so I could board a Needle here for the relics. It's a pretty fair thing to do. The question is what would go out. All right, let's try boarding these in. I think I shave like 2 baubles maybe. All right. This seems fine. Keep. All right, so we're gonna play Bobble. Let's target the opponent. They have a Misty on top. And then I'm gonna fetch for the basic Swamp and cast Inquisition. That is a very good hand. Wow. Oh, the hand is so good. Think we take the relic. Could also just take the monkey and then make them play a slower game. And then like try to win using Ave. Alright, I'm gonna try that out. Draw off Bobble. We know that they have a Misty on top. Fiery Islet into Channeler. Yep. Draw. Okay, so this Twiddle is actually a really good draw because if I go and get Eve, this can untap Lotus Field. Granted, I'd have to draw Lotus Field in the next turn or so, but it's an option. They're playing the Relic as expected. They have Flusterstorm, Counterspell, Island in hand, and one unknown. Channeler gets in there. We'll fall to 17. Alright, Profane Tutor, draw. That's pretty good. I guess that shuts off the Relic. They can't Flusterstorm it. They're going to use Relic in response. I still think we need Relic in case they draw another one. Okay, play the Steam Vents. Pass the turn. So we do have the Profane Tutor coming off suspend. It's interesting because I don't have any of the combo pieces yet. So I don't have a Lotus Field, I don't have a Breach. It's not easy. Alright, so we still know 3 of the 4 in their hand. Channeler gets in for 1. My concern with these is that if I get Eve, they might be able to erase me eventually. Tutor. They could just counterspell this. And it looks like they're going to. If I pack this, it's really risky because I don't have anything else going on. And I don't think I could actually win if I did pack it. So there's no like card to draw here plus draw step that would win. Even if I countered this and then I picked up Lotus Field Underworld Breach, I don't have anything to breach. So that doesn't even make sense. So I just have to allow this to be countered. All right. Draw. I mean, that would have been what I searched for, so... Okay. I don't know how we're going to win this. Channelers will get in for 2, we'll fall to 14. Ledger Shredder. Draw. That was decent. Let's cast it. Okay. Keep the Breach on top. Pass the turn. They draw off Islet. Okay. I think I might flash back the Otherworldly Gaze. It's a tough decision. Because I don't have anything to breach away at the moment, but I also think that this isn't going to be enough to win on its own on my turn, just because my graveyard isn't stocked. Okay, they have 3 cards. Interesting that they shocked there, so they might have a counterspell on top of this Flusterstorm. Interesting. Alright, I think I'm going to flash this back. We had another Gaze that was actually pretty good. We'll keep this on top. I only have 1 packed here. So if I tap, I need to think this through. So I play Breach. I have 1 red floating. Let's say they counterspell and I packed it. They could then fluster for 4 and I don't have mana to pay. Something I could do is I could Dreamscript with Entwine to tap Steam Vents on tap this, but the Fluster would be annoying. This could become... It also could like be the death of me. Because if these become Delirious and then this gets a counter, That's 6-8 damage, and if they have a bolt, I'm dead. Okay, I think I just have to go for it here. If they have Counterspell plus Fluster, they've got me. Alright, Shredder happens. I was thinking about it, and the reason I decided to go for it, by the way, is if I just tap this and play Breach, Flusterstorm with only one blue up just beats me. So I think I'm just pressured into go for it here. And here's the Counterspell. God damn it. So I can pack this and they have Fluster. Okay, so if I flashback the Otherworldly Gaze, I can't beat, or if I draw a Breach, it doesn't win. And then again, I can't beat the Fluster in their hand already. I think I'm just dead. Doesn't even matter what I bounce here. Really? Okay. So now they have 9 damage on board. I'm dead to a Dash Dragavan. Unfortunately, I can't. I mean, maybe I could. Hold on. I need to think through this. I'd have to mill something for under. Okay, I think I should. So what I need to hit off it is not only an Underworld Breach, but also a card that I can use with the Breach mana. Okay, they surveilled away a hearse. It's not looking good for the home team. They kept the card on top with the surveil triggers. So they have one good card in hand. Flash this back. We found the Breach and the card we need with the... Oh my. So you're saying there's a chance. Okay, put this on top. Please don't kill me. They have 9 damage on board. I'm dead to a Dash Ragavan here or a Lightning Bolt. No Ragavan. I'm at 2. Okay, so what have you got? Underworld Breach? Pact? What's your last card? Alright, Breach. So you're saying there's a chance. Untap. Turn 4. Okay. Now we Dream's Grip again. Untap here. Remove the Underworld Breach and land Inquisition. So now what we want to do is play Wishclaw for the Tome Scour. Black. Wishclaw. Void Snare. And a few Twiddle effects. Alright, use the black mana. Grab Scour. Target me. Now we Twiddle. Untap the Lotus Field. Okay, so I'm getting the impression that our opponent doesn't have anything, but I could be wrong. Storm 9. Scour again. Storm 10. Dream Script to untap the Lotus Field. 1 red floating. Tap for blue. Twiddle. I'm sorry, it's Scour, not Twiddle. Remove Ave, Wishclaw, Grip. All we need to do is find the Grapeshot at this point. Scour again. Okay. Twiddle. Alright, sorry, this is taking a while. Scour. Scour again. Only 7 cards left. There's got to be a Grapeshot in here somewhere. There it is. Grapeshot, target you. 17 damage incoming. The best deck in Modern just lost the Lotus Field combo. How about that? Got a little bit lucky there. Not going to pretend that wasn't the case, but we're 1-2 with 2 rounds left. Let's see if we can just get those. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Time for the 4th match. We're on the draw. So this seems pretty interesting. We have everything we need other than the Lotus Field and the Underworld Breach. Wishclaw can get one of them. We have a draw step plus 2 bobble draws for the land. I think I keep this. Really wish that this Grapeshot was something else, but it's fine enough. Alright, it looks like burn again. On the draw was not ideal. Alright, well, I found land 2. Alright, draw. Play these out. Target myself. Don't really need that, so let's fetch that away. And I think I might sit on this for now. Because otherwise, I think I end up discarding next turn, but I'm not sure. Channeler, not an ideal draw. So we'll go to 15. Goblin Guide reveals Underworld Breach. That's a fine one. So that means Wishclaw can get Lotus Field, assuming that we live that long. Classic. Alright, bobble them. Boros Charm. Alright. Draw. I don't know if I can do this. Alright, let's go to 12. Pass the turn. I have this Grapeshot in hand that could have answered the Eidolon, so I could have twiddled my own land in a Grapeshot. I just don't think that's a winning line. I like deal myself 4 just to clear this from the board. They have 6 damage that I know about already. Just not realistic. So here I go to 8. They suspend Riftbolt. They didn't even keep up the Boros Charm. Can I do this? Gotta think this through. I guess no matter what, any line that realistically wins the game this turn starts on me getting Lotus Field. So let's grab the field. And then Twiddle. So these are things that I have to do in order to win. Yes. And then untap again. I go to 4. So now I could Grapeshot the Eidolon. Let's add some red. Okay, so if our opponent has Stone Cold nothing in hand, this could get the job done. Okay, so now I play Underworld Breach. I think we've got it. Why would you not? You get punished for this. Oh, you should have cast that before your Eidolon died. It's your own fault. Burn players. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like, this is super win more and not necessary, but I think it's kind of fun, so we're going to do it. And what I mean is we're going to play out double channeler. Yes. So red, play channeler, red, play channeler. And now we can scour ourselves. Graveyard. Graveyard. Okay. Untap with this. This is really sweet. I mean, it's super win more. Don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't need this in order to win. It's just really awesome. Okay. scour ourselves, I guess. Ooh, hold on. This is even cooler. So we'll play Channeler. And we won't even end up needing the scour. Oh no, I messed up. Oh no, I just threw this. No! Oh geez. Yeah, I definitely just messed this up. I was too busy trash talking and trying to do cute things. Oh no! Yeah, I punted. Hold on. So I have 7 cards. I can cast the Channeler, hold priority. I don't think that this is going to work. Yeah, I think I have to exile the Grapeshot in order to do this. Oh, I don't even have the resources. I was going to say I could pact it and like try to hit some other stuff, but I don't have enough mana to do that. Oh, geez. Too busy trying to do cute stuff, and I punted even though my opponent messed up with their lightning bolt. Not ideal. I'll say that. Oh, geez. So I tried to do something cute, was punished. I already had the win, so it's kind of my own fault. But let's just focus on getting the next ones. Alright, Ad Nauseam out. Take this pact out. I think the channelers like realistically don't belong in the deck. I wonder if like maybe Profane is too slow in this matchup and we just board it out and keep the Inquisitions instead. Because I drew this in match number 1 and hated it. Just because it's a turn 4 card in a fast matchup. So let's try this board plan out instead. Game number 2 on the play. Is a 6-card hand, I would keep this. So I think I'm going to keep it on 7. I mean, I really wish I didn't have double Leyline, but I have to play with the hand you're dealt. Jeez. Oh, that was such a bad misplay. Swift Spear. I think I'm just going to take the 1. I'm going to keep this Fatal Push around for an Eidolon. I'm going to bolt myself here. Otherworldly Gaze. I don't think we want these. Draw. Ouch. Wishclaw. Pass the turn. Land 2. They pick up another mountain. Getting in there. We go to 13 and no Eidolon. Wow. Draw. I'm just going to play this and pass. Land 3. Suspends Riftbolt. Well, that can't target me. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. I guess I'll Fatal Push. I wanted to flashback Otherworldly Gaze there, but just couldn't do it. Alright, let's target them. A whole lot of nothing. Guess we take the, I don't know, Boros Charm. And then flash this back. Okay. I definitely want the Lotus Field. I think I'm actually only supposed to keep just the field. So next turn, something I can do is activate Wishclaw and then bounce it with the Void Snare and back to my hand. So they have to deal themselves 3. They drew a land. Or is that the line we knew about? That was the line we knew about. Okay, so we'll activate this. Grab Breach, I guess. Bounce it. Play Lotus Field. I think we want to keep the Steam Vents because Steam Vents allows us to tap this for blue, so we'd have blue floating post Underworld Breach. There's an Eidolon. Alright, so play the Void Snare. And I'm just gonna be lazy and fetch now. Pass the turn. So I have the Void Snare in the graveyard. I'm sorry, I played the Wishclaw Talisman. I was thinking about this in the graveyard, the Void Snare. So we know that they have Boros Charm to protect this, but that doesn't mean much because we have this Void Snare to answer it. Inquisition's my top card. I don't want that. Ooh, so they're giving... Alright, so I'm going to take 6 down to 4. So upkeep. I can't play Breach into the answer, so I have to Wishclaw for like a Fatal Push. I know that my top card's the card I don't want, though. I think I have to... Okay, so if I draw the Inquisition, I can tap this for triple black. I can... Oh, I don't have a Twiddle. That doesn't work. Okay, so upkeep, I have to search for the last Fatal Push and then draw a Twiddle. That's my out. Alright, let's destroy Eidolon going to 2. And I drew the Inquisition anyway. Oh, I'm dead to the Goblin Guide. That's a bummer. This league's not looking too good. 1-3. Admittedly, game number 1 was my own fault. I tried to get cute. But yeah, pretty ugly. Let's see if we can win match number 5. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. Alright, 5th and final match. We're on the draw. This hand seems pretty good. We'll get to cast, or ideally, hopefully, get to cast this Ad Nauseam card. Oh no. Is this the third burn deck in a row? Ah! Third burn deck this league. Rip my life. Ah, jeez. How to lose to burn 101. This would have been a great Neoform league. Holy smokes. I mean, I would have lost to Living End, but definitely would have crushed all 3 of these burn decks. The nice thing about about Neoform is that anytime I get paired up against something that isn't blue, I get so excited just because I'm like, I'm going to roll you over. Not good. Draw. Have to pass the turn. Also, I've drawn a lot of lands this league. There's been a few points where I'm like, yeah, maybe I could have done something, but like my hand just had too many lands in it. It's interesting because for a while I was playing 21 lands and I went down to 20. I think that 19 starts to get sketchy because you end up in spots where you're just like begging to draw land 2 for Lotus Field. That didn't happen this league, but I think 19 sort of sketchy. Maybe you could run 19 with the 4 considers. You'd have to see how that goes, but I don't know. I don't love the idea of going down to 19 lands because it's really 15 because these aren't mana sources. This might just be bad variance this league. I don't know. Draw. All right, let's pick that up. So defeating. All right, board in the Fatal Pushes, Echoing Truth, the Ley Lines, and Ave. Take out the Ad Naus. Take out the Profanes. Take out the Pact. 64, minus Channelers. Submit. Okay, so, I mean, this is it. Let's see if we can get one of these. I don't think that this hand is good enough. So this is a turn... No, it's not even a turn 3. Yeah, we have to mulligan. Okay, so this is better. We'll bottom one ley line. Play this out. Like I said, this is one of those situations where we really need to find land number 2 for the Lotus Field. Ouch. Let's just play it. So we technically found a land, but it's not one that we need. And I don't think we're allowed to keep the Lotus Field here, or I'm sorry, the Underworld Breach here, unfortunately. It's a card we really wanted for this hand, but we have to find the second land first. Also, I mean, I'm just going to point this out. I've played so much Modern the last few weeks because I've just been testing Neoform nonstop. I think I might have gotten paired into Burn like one time in the last 2 weeks, and then I play Lotus Field combo and immediately get triple burned. It's a feel bad. I have to pass here. You could Void Snare the Goblin Guide, but I don't think that's actually like a winning play. There's another land. Goblin Guide gets in. Do we reveal land? We don't. Another Otherworldly Gaze. So flood into Mana Screw. Yikes. I can't imagine that this was a very exciting league for anyone to watch. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, pass the turn. I'm at 14. I don't even know if I can win this. Yeah, I think I'm just dead. Because I can't get lands into play fast enough. And then I'd have to Void Snare this, and that's actually just exactly 14. Wow, this league was a nightmare. I'm not going to pretend that this was, anything great. This is just really disastrous. 1 and 4, which was just terrible. I did not like Channeler. I'll be completely honest, because like the reason I played it again was I wanted to try something in the consider slot. Recently, people have been talking about Dragon's Rage Channeler in this specific deck. So I was like, maybe I'll try it again. Maybe my initial impression was wrong. It wasn't. This card does not belong here. Like one of the nice things, and I mentioned this, is that we're a deck that just dodges removal entirely, and then we're making cards like Lightning Bolt live against us. So, and the one time it would have been good, I had already won the game. So I'm not a big fan of this. I think I would probably go back to the 4th Profane Tutor. I shouldn't do that because I have to export this. But I think I would go back to the 4th Profane Tutor and maybe 3 Consider. And if you wanted to, you could try going down to 19 lands and add in the 4th Consider, but I'm not sure if I love that. So if you have any other ideas to play in that Consider slot, I'm certainly interested in hearing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But wow, this was a nightmare. If you actually watched this league, thank you, but why? I don't know. This sucked. That's all I've got. So the last league was a 5-0. This was a 1-4. Classic Magic. Well, I do appreciate you, especially if you watched this much. But that's all I've got today. Thanks. Take care. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.